Digital economy gets a turbo boost as government allocated around 17 trillion rupiah for the ecosystem. Boosting 2021 performance, Jasa Marga sets 7 trillion capital expenditure. Good afternoon, viewers. Market Headlines is ready to provide you a number of informations from the business, economic, and capital market sectors. With me, Wicky Adrian, this is Market Headlines. The government has budgeted around 17 trillion rupiah in state budget funds to encourage the digital economy. Regarding this, the Minister of Finance hopes that the allocated budget can encourage the development of internet infrastructure connectivity to remote areas.
The government admits that digital transformation is impossible if most of Indonesia is not connected to the internet. So that to support the availability of the internet to remote areas, the Ministry of Finance provides fiscal support, which is 17 trillion rupiah in the budget of ministries and institutions, as well as transfers to regions that reach 9 trillion per year. Finance Minister Sri Mulyani said that the total budget, which reaches more than 26 trillion rupiah per year, will be used to support the availability of the internet until the 2024 budget year. The support is expected to be able to encourage the provision of internet availability in 9,133 villages and more than 19,000 schools and Islamic boarding schools.
Jadi APBN tahun 2021 ini untuk belanja kementerian lembaga sebesar 17 triliun dan transfer ke daerah sebesar 9 triliun itu adalah merupakan satu bagian dari nanti rencana selama 5 tahun oleh Pak Joni Plate di dalam rangka untuk menjangkau seluruh daerah di Indonesia supaya bisa terkoneksi dengan internet. Belanja per tahunnya bisa mencapai antara 16 hingga 17 triliun hingga tahun 2024.
The former World Bank Managing Director added that the availability of the internet through this fiscal support will then create a transformation of justice, because so far digital connectivity has only been enjoyed by residents of big cities. From Jakarta, Raharjo Patmo for IDX Channel.
In line with efforts to increase the role of the digital economy, Bank of Indonesia believes that the digital economy will grow 33% this year, which is supported by the central bank's policy of digitizing the payment system.
Bank Indonesia is confident that Indonesia's digital economy will continue to grow during the COVID-19 pandemic. The governor of Bank Indonesia, Peri Warjio, is confident that this year, electronic money transactions will increase by 33% or 337 trillion rupiah from last year's position, which reached 253 trillion rupiah. Meanwhile, digital banking transactions are also expected to grow 19% in 2021. Peri Warjio explained that Bank Indonesia has also supported digitization in the payment sector with various policies in the payment system.
Bank Indonesia terus mendukung digitalisasi ekonomi keuangan dengan digitalisasi sistem pembayaran, QR Indonesian Standard, BI Fast, standarisasi Open API, reformasi regulasi, Sandbox 2.0, kemudian mendukung juga Bansos 4.0, termasuk juga elektronisasi transaksi pemerintah.
Bank Indonesia also urged banks to provide digital services so that they can also support the government's pandemic health policy. In addition, the central bank ensures that it will continue to support the government to conduct the electronification of social assistance. From Jakarta, Raharjo Patmo for IDX Channel.
Indonesia's Sharia economy is seen as full of potential by economic observer from Core Indonesia. With such huge Muslim population, Indonesia's Sharia economy ratio is considered still on minimum level. Therefore, there is still plenty room to move. In the 2021 Sharia Fair, which was held by IDX Channel, Director of Sharia Economy and Finance at Core Indonesia, Abi Junaidi, gave his concern about Indonesia's Sharia economy. Indonesia has large Muslim population, thus it means the large potential of Sharia finance and economy still have plenty of space to grow. Currently, Sharia economy sectors in Indonesia still has low demand, such as Sharia capital market. With still large room to move, the sector can be improved. The realization of the Sharia financial sector has only reached 9.9%. Specifically, Sharia banking realization only hit 6 to 7%, while for the realization of Sharia capital market only reached 16.17%. But despite low demand, Indonesia's Sharia economy gets more attention as time goes by. This can be seen from Indonesia's rapid improvement in Sharia global indexes.
Hampir di seluruh rating atau indeks global di bidang ekonomi dan keuangan syariah, Indonesia itu memiliki peningkatan signifikan yang terjadi di beberapa tahun ini. Tadi juga dijelaskan bahwasanya the State of Global Economy Index kita naik ke peringkat 4 dari peringkat 5. Kita berada di peringkat 1 Global Islamic Finance Report. Di Global Muslim Travel Index kita di nomor
Has set a new target for financing in the small businesses until 2024. It is targeted that small, medium enterprises financing will be 30% of the total credit disbursed.
Indeed, small and medium enterprises play an important role in the national economy. Therefore, government sets ambitious target to finance small businesses. In 2024, it is targeted that small medium enterprises financing will be at 30% of the total credit disbursed. Coordinating Minister for the Economic Affairs Erlangga Hartarto at the Presidential Office during a press conference stated that so far financing for SMEs is still at the level of 18% to 20%, and therefore it is targeted that in 2024 financing can reach 30%. From all sources, IDX Channel.
Market headlines will be right back after the break. Stay tuned.
Presiden Joko Widodo memiliki optimisme yang tinggi terkait dengan proses vaksinasi nasional yang sedang dilakukan saat ini. Bagaimana tanggapan dari pengusaha dengan angka ini?
Tentu membuat kita harus lebih berhati-hati.
Langkah apa yang tepat dilakukan untuk bisa meningkatkan pemahaman masyarakat?
Komunikasi publik adalah kunci. Jadi kita harus bisa menunjukkan kepada masyarakat bahwa vaksinasi itu penting.
Hello, I'm Clara Antawijaya. I'm Associate Producer and News Presenter on Market Headlines. As Market Headlines starts at 4:30 p.m., which is in line with the closing market, therefore we summarize market conditions only for you. And my job in here as a journalist, I give concise and accurate news for the audience. And also, being a journalist is not only a job for me, but it is also a passion.
Welcome back. The Asian Development Bank has approved the Indonesian government's loan of $450 million to finance COVID-19 vaccination. Converted to rupiah exchange rate, it is equivalent to 6.53 trillion rupiah.
Vaccine financing to Indonesia is included in the Responsive COVID-19 Vaccines for Recovery program by Asian Development Bank or IDB. The program is continuations of IDB assistance to Indonesia to address the pandemic challenge. The loan will later help Biopharma, state-owned pharmaceutical company, to obtain and distribute COVID-19 vaccines. ADB President Masatsugu Asikawa said that the financing can fund the purchase of vaccines of up to 65 million doses of vaccine. From all sources, IDX Channel.
The Asian Development Bank has approved $450 million loan to Indonesia to help Biopharma, a state-owned vaccine supplier, to procure and deliver safe and effective vaccines against COVID-19. The loan is included as ADB's project to Indonesia, so-called responsive COVID-19 vaccines or recovery projects. So what it's all about? Let's see the first graphic to know more detail about it. Responsive COVID-19 vaccines for recovery project from Asian Development Bank to Indonesia. The first one is fund the purchase of at least 65 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines, help the Indonesian government protect lives and restore livelihoods, and supported by ADB's Asia Pacific Vaccine Access Facility or APVAX. The project is supported by ADB's $9 billion Asia Pacific Vaccine Access Facility, or so-called as APVAX, which has been launched in December 2020 to offer rapid and equitable vaccine-related support to ADB's developing members, including Indonesia. However, nothing comes for free, right? For a vaccine to be eligible for APVAX financing, it must meet one of the three criteria. Let's see the criteria in the next graphics. This is eligibility of APVAX financing. The first one, procured via the COVID-19 Vaccines Global Access Facility or COVAX, pre-qualified by World Health Organization and authorized by stringent regulatory authority. And through the eligibility, Indonesia is qualified to get APVAX financing, at least one of the criteria in which the vaccines will be procured through the COVID-19 Vaccines Global Access Facility or COVAX. Therefore, the Asian Development Bank has approved $450 million loan. Through the loan, it will help immunize millions of socially and economically vulnerable people at high risk of transmission, including the medical personnel. ADB will also help the government and Biopharma improve logistics management and deliver vaccines more effectively. And actually, this is not the only assistance that Indonesia gets from ADB. ADB has helped Indonesia in many ways, such as giving grant, loan, or humanitarian assistance. So let's take a look at earlier programs through the next graphic. This is the list of ADB assistance to help Indonesia. The first one is $3 million Asia Pacific Disaster Response Fund grant to help the Ministry of Health deliver critical medical equipment and supplies. $1.5 billion COVID-19 Active Response and Expenditure or CARES program, loan as budget support for urgent public health, and $450 million responsive COVID-19 vaccines for recovery project. And I would like to highlight the CARES program. Even though it was covered by Asian Development Bank, it was co-financed by Australia's Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, the Japan International Cooperation Agency, German Development Corporation, and the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. Indeed, the good deeds which is provided by Indonesia is ADB commitment to achieve a prosperous, resilient, and sustainable Asia and the Pacific. And Indonesia is part of the target. And about the responsive COVID-19 vaccines for recovery project, ADB sees that Indonesia needs it most as the pandemic has significantly affected livelihoods, especially among the poor and vulnerable. About 30 million people in Indonesia have lost their jobs or have been forced to cut working hours, resulting in an increase in poverty. But Indonesia has high hope as vaccination program is now ongoing and can be one of the way out to solve the problem. But the problem is about financing. Yes, same old story, right? The government has allocated huge budget for handling COVID-19. And let's take a look at the next graphic to know the detail about it. This is the Indonesia's budget for handling COVID-19. In 2021, the total budget, as much as 130 trillion rupiah, will be divided into 3 programs. The first one is vaccination, of course, 58.18 trillion rupiah. Testing and tracing, 9.91 trillion rupiah. And healthcare and medical personnel incentives, as much as 61 trillion rupiah. High budget comes as Indonesia sets high target for vaccination. The Indonesian government aims to vaccinate 181.5 million people against COVID-19. In one of the world's biggest vaccination campaigns, Indonesia recorded more than 1.5 COVID-19 cases or 40,000 deaths as of March 30th. And we hope that the $450 million ADB loan can help Indonesia deliver safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines. Stay tuned on Market Headlines because we'll be right back after the break.
Presiden Joko Widodo memiliki optimisme yang tinggi terkait dengan proses vaksinasi nasional yang sedang dilakukan saat ini. Bagaimana tanggapan dari pengusaha dengan angka ini?
Tentu membuat kita harus lebih berhati-hati.
Langkah apa yang tepat dilakukan untuk bisa meningkatkan pemahaman masyarakat?
Komunikasi publik adalah kunci. Jadi kita harus bisa menunjukkan kepada masyarakat bahwa vaksinasi itu penting.
We're in the last segment at the Jakarta Composite Index in trading movement earlier today. JCI was open at the level of 6,040.06, and then approaching the closing time of the first session, the index was on the level of 5,983.76. Then the index was showing weakening trend by the second session closing time. Index was closed at the level of 5,970.28. In short, JCI went down 0.68%. And next, we are going to see the sectoral movement leading the dynamics of today's trading. We got Miss Industry as the leader of the strengthening trend. Went up 0.08%. And we got construction as the leader of the weakening trend. Went down 1.5%. Finance went down 0.94%. And consumer goods went down 0.83%. Moving on to top gainers and top losers. Here are the key highlights from today's trading session. Film went up 9% to the level of 545 rupiah per share. And PPA went up 21.48% to the level of 362 rupiah per share. MLPL went up 15.18% to the level of 129 rupiah per share. And Viva went up 34.62% to the level of 70 rupiah per share. This is the top losers for today's trading. BBRI went down 2.1% to the level of 4,200 rupiah per share. BBCA went down 1.12% to the level of 30,775 rupiah per share. Antam went down 1.79% to the level of 2,200 rupiah per share. And PTBA went down 4.15% to the level of 2,440 rupiah per share. And we're going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. Open at the level of 14,522. Rupiah was also showing strengthening trend towards US dollar. It was closed at the level of 14,503. In summary, rupiah went up 0.25%. To boost the 2021 performance, Jasa Marga has prepared a number of business strategies and projects, including allocated capital expenditure of around 7 up to 9 trillion rupiah.
In order to boost performance in 2021, Jasa Marga has prepared a number of business strategies and projects which expects the revenue will be better than last year. This year, Jasa Marga has allocated a capital expenditure of around 7 to 9 trillion rupiah. The management will use capital expenditure funds to maintain toll road performance in order to improve service to customers. Jasa Marga also uses the expenditure funds to develop the toll road concession business and other prospective businesses. On the other hand, the company will continue the construction and development of rest areas in several sections that are included in the Trans-Java toll road network to support service improvements for toll road users. In addition, the company plans to participate in the investment auction that will be held by the government this year, as management say that the toll road business prospects throughout this year are estimated to be better than in 2020. This projection is in line with the increase in mobility of people, goods or services and the implementation of the vaccination program as an effort to tackle the COVID-19 pandemic. With this prospect, the management projects that this year's revenue will be better than the previous year. This target is in line with the increasing volume or traffic on toll roads. From Jakarta, IDX Channel team reported.
Siloam International Hospitals posted a strong performance despite the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. The company achieved a net profit of 125 billion rupiah, or significantly increased by 366% year-on-year.
The management of Siloam Hospitals responded quickly and implemented strategies to deal with the volume decline due to COVID-19. The company is focused on expanding margins for existing and new services, as well as a sharp increase again in the fourth quarter of 2020. Siloam Hospitals recorded EBITDA of 1.2 trillion in 2020, an increase of 37.4% compared to 2019, which amounted to 871 billion. EBITDA margin grew to 21.6% in 2020 from 16.6% in 2019. Earnings per share last year reached 71.52 rupiah, an increase of 391% compared to the previous year, which recorded a loss per share of 208.38 rupiah. The business performance in the fourth quarter of 2020 contributed highly to Siloam Hospital's strong achievement over the past year. Siloam Hospitals posted EBITDA of 454 billion rupiah in the fourth quarter of 2020, an increase of 83.5% compared to the fourth quarter of 2019. From Jakarta, IDX Channel team reported.
Kimia Pharma recorded positive performance throughout 2020. It can be seen from the net profit of 17.63 billion rupiah, which was reversed from the net loss recorded in 2019.
The performance of Kimia Pharma, which recorded a positive bottom line position, was supported by its health clinic and laboratory service business lines. The company's positive earnings reversed after the previous year's negative performance. Kimia Pharma Corporate Secretary Ganti Winarno explained that even though the current economic condition is still depressed by the COVID-19 pandemic situation, the company was able to record a sales increase of 6.44% compared to 2019. The company's operating profit also grew by 30.17% compared to 2019, and in a ratio, the operating profit margin grew by 1.19% to 6.53% in 2020. Net profit margin also increased from 0.17% in 2019 to 0.2% in 2020, with net profit increased from negative 12 billion in 2019 to positive 17 billion in 2020. This profit growth is of course supported by sales growth. The company always maintains its operating expenses, which experience a growth of 3.55%, still below the sales growth of 6.44%, so that the company can book good operating profit and net profit. From Jakarta, IDX Channel team reported.
Step aside from market condition as coronavirus pandemic takes big role on current economic situation, and here it is an update data about coronavirus globally. Close our market lines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, Your Trustworthy Economic, Business and Capital Market Channel. I'm Wicky Adrian. Have a nice evening and stay safe.